Blog Talk Radio.
Hi there. Welcome to Psychic Tapestry. I'm Ken Kessler, and she's Toni DeMaio. Hi, Toni.
Hello. Hi. I forgot we don't have the music.
Right, we don't. For those of you who have been with us for a while, we have been using Oingo Boingo's Dead Man's Party because I thought that would be kind of funny. A riff from that as our intro music.
Yeah.
But Psychic Tapestry has been growing, and we're on so many different podcasting sites now, and many of those have very strict rules about using music. And until I can get through all the right channels to make sure that we have everything that they want as far as rights go to be able to use that, we're not using it. So it's just because if they decide you're using music that you don't have a right to use, they take you off, and it's very hard to get back on there. And I just feel like the messages that Toni and I have are important enough, and just the conversation is important enough for people to hopefully get something out of, even if it's just feeling like you're not the only one, you're not alone. That I think that that's more important than using a riff from music. So I want to try and keep this going. Phone lines are open, by the way. We're live, obviously. It's Tuesday, September 28th, if you can believe it. And the phone lines are open. 347-838-9903 is the number. There are some folks already on the line, so calling sooner rather than later is always the best way to go. There are a couple other ways that you can connect. You can use social media, facebook.com/Psychic Tapestry or @Psychic Tapestry on Twitter. And if you're listening on the Blog Talk Radio website, you can just scroll down on that page and you'll see the chat room there, and you can pop in there. The phone's the best because the back and forth of the conversation is easier with either of us having follow-up questions for one another than it is through social media, through the chat room. Typing all that stuff out back and forth is difficult. There's a time lag and blah, 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 blah. But you might be at work, or you might be doing something that makes it difficult or impossible to call in, or maybe you just don't want to. You have your own reasons. That's fine. Whatever the case may be, that's why those other options are available to you. One housekeeping announcement, I guess. Psychic Tapestry has been, our schedule has been a little chaotic the last couple months, and I'm sorry about that. It's just, I hate to say it is what it is, but it's just been difficult with scheduling. With I had a really monster headache last week. Toni had a health thing before that, so it has made it difficult.
COVID.
And as longtime listeners will know, I run an online Christmas music station, so things are about to get really busy there. So Toni and I want to keep Psychic Tapestry going, so we're going to do it every other Tuesday instead of every Tuesday, at least for the next few months, and see how, and hopefully that will keep us on a schedule and keep us on track and give us that week in between that we can fill up with the other stuff so that we don't have any scheduling issues, and we're hoping that works. So we should be back 2 weeks from tonight, and then 2 weeks from that, and so on and so on through the end of the year. That's
I like it.
What we're that's what we're hoping for. I like it too. So I just want to let you know that I will post something similar about that out on our social media stuff, but you lucky guys are listening right now, so you get to know before everybody else. Yay! Okay.
There you go.
Tonight, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that are sort of related. One is, how do you find an honest psychic?
Oh boy!
And it's definitely tricky. This is not. I'm not using this as an opportunity to say, just book your readings with us. That's not.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. But there are things that you can look for and look out for. And I also want to mention that it's very, who you get a reading from is a very personal decision, and if somebody else has a great connection with a psychic and gets a terrific reading and everything is great, does not necessarily mean the same for you, and vice versa. It is, it's personal. It's kind of like any other professional that you book an appointment with. If you're getting a lawyer or a doctor or whoever, somebody to do something important for you, and you just don't connect. It's just not working. It doesn't matter how many great reviews they have on Yelp or whatever system monitors their professional area, if it doesn't work for you. But that doesn't mean that person isn't honest. And we're not gonna mention any names, but just some things to think about. And the first one I want to throw out is the really classic thing about hexes.
Yeah, curses.
Curses and hexes, because so often many who are not all that ethical want to charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to remove a hex, and you have to go to them so many times, or to remove a curse.
Right.
You have to go to them so many times, and it's very complicated, and it ends up costing you a fortune. And there is not an ethical psychic who will do that kind of thing.
No, not at all.
So if you feel that you have some kind of curse on you and you need some help, message us and we'll help you find somebody to talk to if talking to us isn't enough. Because going to somebody and you shouldn't spend thousands and thousands of dollars or hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that kind of thing. And even if you're not getting that, if you see that that's something they specialize, that's on their website, that should be a red flag to you.
I agree.
Because somebody who does that is much more interested in how much money they can get out of you than how much they can help you.
Very true.
And that's really the bottom line. Was there anything in particular, Toni, that you wanted to mention about finding an honest psychic? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I think you have to go with your gut feeling. Your gut doesn't lie. It's like when you pick your doctor or you pick your attorney or you pick anyone that's going to come into your house, a babysitter. You're going to go with your feelings, with your gut feelings, and also asking around to see, who else that Usually, people come to me who are referred from other people because they've had a good experience, and then of course, to see they then have to see if they resonate with me, and if we click. It's like anything else, but going with your gut is your best bet always in all things. And also, don't, if it's like lots of money for the psychic reading, it doesn't necessarily mean they're any better than someone who's more reasonable. You have to think in terms of what you can afford. The most expensive psychic may not be the best psychic. That doesn't always follow.
Or the best for you.
Yeah.
Because
very true, which is what I meant, the best psychic for you.
Yeah. It's so much of metaphysical stuff is just not the same from person to person. So so it may not be that the most well-known, most famous, and most expensive psychics out there are the ones for you. And not only that, but everybody, including psychics, have bad days, off days where it's just not working right, and that's just something to think about. Another thing is that because of the internet and social media and podcasts, there are so many psychics out there who do podcasts similar to this one. And I would recommend trying them out. Listen to them. Listen to what they have to say.
I agree.
You know, if you can get a free mini reading, get one and see how it feels. Or listen to other people getting readings and see how that feels to you. That's a great way to sort of gauge if this might be somebody that's right for you.
That's good advice.
The other part of this that I want to talk about very carefully is about scammers. And
so many of them.
And we talked about the whole curse removal thing. I remember when I worked, when I did readings in a shop back in San Diego, I had wanted to put out a press release or an ad or something. Curses removed, $25. Because I feel like, you know what, that's reasonable. I'd be glad to help you with that. And $25, not a bad deal. Much better than these people that want to charge you $25,000. So we've talked about the hexes and curses. Something that you should definitely be aware of is that ethical psychics will not reach out to you first. So if you are...
True, that's a good point.
One of the things that I've seen happening so much, especially on Facebook, probably happens on Twitter and Instagram too, is that there will be somebody who is a psychic medium who's doing a live reading or posts something, and in the comments, somebody who's really hurting, who's really having a tough time, will say something about needing help, which is not unusual. But what happens is that some other psychic will hop on there and tell them I was guided to reach out to you. And it's really taking advantage of somebody who's hurting. Ethical psychics will not jump on somebody else's post, somebody else in the comments of somebody else's thing to try and get clients. So if you are commenting on, if James Von Prague does lots of live things on Facebook, and if you're commenting or something because you need some hope and healing and you don't know where to turn, and you post something that's very emotional and some other psychic responds to you, ignore them, because an ethical psychic won't do that. And if somebody's being unethical from the start, you can imagine how that's going to go. I have heard so many stories of people who have gotten suckered into that kind of thing because they are hurting and they need help, and somebody unethical comes along and is charging them this and is charging them that, and there's several $100 or several $1,000s in when they realize that this might not be right. And by then, what can you do?
It's so sad.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
But just know that an ethical psychic will not pop into somebody else's post, into comments for someone else to try and get you to be their client. That won't happen. That noise in the background is Lisa's dog, Fiona. By the way. If you hear some snorting or whatever, that's not some demon trying to come through or anything.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
But there's a lot of what they call spoofing going on, where people make fake social media pages and pretend to be some other psychic. And I see them, and I'll see people posting this, and I see a comment from the actual psychic, and it's hard for me to believe somebody would fall for this, but I haven't been in a position, at least not recently, where I have been grieving and so hurt and so emotional that I needed any lifeline. Please, somebody help me. So I can see how it can happen where you'll get a message from a psychic, and it might even be somebody famous, somebody you've heard of. But an ethical psychic is not going to reach out to you first. They're not going to approach you out of the blue and tell you how they were guided to pop in and help you. An ethical psychic won't do that. Now, I know you'll see like the Long Island medium stop people on the street in her show and force a psychic reading on them or tell them how she's guided to do that. And I understand that, but that's TV. That's a TV show. That's not real life. That's not her popping up in your DMs on social media to try and get you to hire her. So somebody ethical is not going to do that. You should always be the one who makes first contact.
For the most part, I've got to admit, a couple of times I've been moved to give a very important message to a stranger, but I don't charge them for it. I'm not looking for a client. I will deliver the message, and in each case it's been, it was a really important message, and the person ended up crying and hugging me and everything, but I wasn't trying to get a client. I was just following, and I didn't say, if you come to my studio or if you call me on the phone, I'll give you this reading. I just gave it away because I was supposed to. So that's different.
Yeah,
that's
different.
And that's kind of what
different.
the Long Island medium does,
Yeah, that's much different. Yeah, on her show, she does stop and she will stop somebody and give a message without asking, without being approached first. But the difference is that when she does that, she doesn't say, I was guided to reach out to you and get you to pay me money. I mean, they don't usually say it quite like that. They'll say that.
Nope.
They'll say that they're guided to help you, and here's the Venmo link, or here's, my PayPal. And
that's something different.
And that is something different, and that's something that ethical psychics won't do. So, so keep an eye out for that kind of thing, and they won't, they won't pop up. I know that there are some who will pop up and it's an instant message, a direct message, depending on what platform you're on, and it'll look like it's from somebody famous. Wow, John Edward is direct messaging me. This must be huge. You know what? He doesn't do that. He does not do that. And really, I mean, to pick one name in particular, he doesn't need to do that.
No,
but
he does not.
But he doesn't do that. Now, I've seen videos of him where he does sometimes give messages to people who didn't ask for them. Right. But it's not. I remember he was setting up for an event that he was doing where he had, I think, just a few people over like for dinner, and he was giving them messages, and I can't even imagine what something like that would cost. But when they were setting it up, one of the tech guys, as he was setting this up and making sure things were working, John had a very powerful message for him, and he was very hesitant to give it because this guy hadn't asked anything. So he asked lots of questions in advance to make sure this was okay. But again, he didn't say, I have a really important message for you from your grandfather. If you'd like a reading from me, click on the PayPal button. But that's what some people do. But, and it does, it does sound funny, but that's what some do. And when you're hurting, when you desperately need that hope and healing, it's very tempting to go, you know what? I could really use a message from my grandfather right now. I miss him so much. And you want to click that button and you want to give them any amount of money. I totally understand that. But an ethical psychic won't do that.
For sure.
It's
wow.
I know it's hard to, I don't want this to sound like we're just doing a big thing to scare you out of talking to anybody except the two of us, because that's not what we're trying to do. There are lots of people on Blog Talk Radio who do shows like this, and there are lots of podcasts on almost any other platform by people who do podcasts like this. So there are plenty of places that you can listen and you can try them out. And good Lord, on YouTube, it's almost an infinite supply where you can see different psychics giving readings. And they do them on Facebook Live. I think they still call it Facebook Live, where you can see somebody do that. And you might be able to even take part and get a little mini reading there. And it lets you sort of try the psychic on and see how that works. But with that said, an ethical psychic is not going to give you part of a reading and tell you if you want the rest, you need to come back and see me privately and pay for a reading. Nobody's going to do that either. I have a very important message from you from your grandfather. He says, make sure you never, and I'll tell you the rest when you come back and you pay me for a reading. Oh, nobody ethical is going to do that. It is terrible. And nobody ethical is going to do that, but some people some do. And I'm not trying to scare you that everybody else is out to get you. This happened to a friend of mine, and I don't want to mention her name, that she's been on this show. It's been a few years, but she had been on this show before. She's a wonderful person. She does she's a terrific, gifted psychic medium, but somebody was spoofing her account, and somebody's been popping up and trying to talk to people who leave comments and stuff and try to get them to go with this other person. And, you know, it's just not gonna, it's not ethical. Psychics won't do that. Mm-mm. And I'm not trying to scare you. I know it's hard when it's hard to find a psychic that you click with and that you know you're going to be fine with and that you feel comfortable with right away. I know that that's not easy to do. I understand that. And so all that I'm saying is just makes it that much harder, but really it should be that much harder, because there's a big responsibility here, especially for psychic mediums who are giving you messages from dead people, from those in spirit, from angels. And that's a big responsibility, and it should be taken very seriously. And a lot of these people don't take it very seriously. It's just a way to fleece you out of some money. And I just feel very strongly, and I want you to be careful. I'm not saying that you have to get a reading from Toni or that you have to get a reading from me. I'm not telling you who to get a reading from or who not to get a reading from, but those are some things to watch out for.
Absolutely.
And you know, you can if you have a rock shop, a psychic store, a place where people can buy crystals and sage and whatnot, and they have psychic readers there, you can usually try one of those out. A lot of them will have a psychic fair, and you can try those out at a reduced rate. We've had a couple psychic fairs here, and maybe after the first of the year, we'll try and do another one. If things have calmed down a little bit. But those are great places to also to get to try somebody out, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, and you can see what they're like and what it feels like and how you connect, and is this a good fit for you? Those are important questions. And I know sometimes it feels like it's an emergency and you need to find somebody right now. And I get that, and that's what a lot of these scammers are counting on. So just be careful.
Good advice.
Well, thank you. I hope I'm not beating a dead horse, and I hope that all makes sense.
Oh,
I don't want to scare anybody. I just have seen this come up so many times where I will see. I'm connected with lots of people who are psychics and mediums and tarot readers and lots of different things. I'm connected with a lot of them on social media, and I will see so many of them post from time to time. I will never instant message or direct message you. If somebody is doing that, it's not me. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. And it's just amazing how many times that happens. And I hope that getting the word out here will help. I hope it helps somebody not get taken, because I think that this is just, I have tons of respect for people who do this ethically. And it's a big, like I said, it's a big responsibility. And I think it should be taken seriously. And
I agree.
And Toni, unless you have something else to add, I'm going to climb down off the soapbox.
No, you covered it. That was well done.
Okay. I think this is pretty important, and I'm probably going to put this out on the other on the Psychic Tapestry 2 podcast, just in an attempt to get the message out to other people, because I think having a heads up about some of the things that scammers do and ways to maybe find somebody that you can trust, I think that's some important stuff. So I don't usually do the same thing on the 2 podcasts, but I think that this is going to be an exception to that. So I'll put that out there. So if you see it come around again on the other one, it's the same stuff. So there I'm saving you a little time. So now we can shift gears and talk to some people on the phone. 347-838-9903 is the number. Before we get to the calls, Toni, you should explain yourself, who you are, why you're here, and what you're going to do.
I will. Hi, everybody. I'm Toni DeMaio. I was born psychic, was born with all the abilities, and luckily I had a grandmother who was also psychic. She was able to explain what was going on with me, why I knew things I had no business knowing, and also why I could see dead people. So that helped me a great deal. I didn't have what so many psychics have to go through, of feeling like they're outcasts or, not accepted by their family. So I was able to develop rather quickly and naturally because I had all the support. So that makes me a little different, I think, in that way. And tonight I'm going to do my favorite thing to do, which is speak with your spirit guides and angels. I've been in touch with my guide all my life, and my guide then confers with yours, and all the information is filtered through our guidance systems. This way I feel that the messages are the purest and for your highest good, which is what I want to do. Only do things that are for your highest good. Now it's your turn, Ken.
Well, that's how you feel about it, okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and I fly the plane here and push the buttons and talk too much. I'm also a psychic medium and a music intuitive. I get most of my information messages through music and through those in spirit with connections to music. For tonight's purposes, I have built 11 psychic jukeboxes, which are big playlists with thousands of songs on each one. And there's a little page on our website at psychictapestry.com all about the psychic jukeboxes. And if you like what we're talking about, it'll show you how you can use them for free to get readings for yourself, get messages. But I'm using one of those tonight, and the way and I invite my guides and angels and your guides and angels to give me the song that's for you. So when we take your call, I let you know what's playing as they're all shuffling randomly, and I'm using Psychic Jukebox number 6, which has 4,427 songs on it. And I'll let you know what was playing and what I think it means for you. And the great thing about music is, one of the great things is that it's so personal that I can tell you what song is playing, and I can tell you all about it. Earlier today, I was guided to share a song on our social media. It's a song called Nobody's Perfect from Sheryl Crow and Emmylou Harris. And I could tell you all about Sheryl Crow and Emmylou Harris, and I could tell you about the song Nobody's Perfect, which is a great reminder song for relationships. And it's not just about the other person not being perfect. It's also about that you aren't perfect either, and that's okay. But I was guided to post that because the right person that needed to hear that was going to see it, so I did. But the great thing about music is that I could talk about all of that stuff to you, and you could have a different instant reaction just when I say either the artist's names or the song. Something within you clicks, and you know what it means or who it's from or something else about it that's maybe not the same thing that I'm saying, and that's okay. That's just how it works sometimes. Angels and spirit like to use what's in our heads as the readers to trigger in you what you need to know. And sometimes that could be as simple as my saying the name of a song, Nobody's Perfect. So that's how that'll work. And I think that's it.
That's it now.
That's what Toni and I are going to do. I guess we can't go any further until we get you on the line. The number again is 347-838-9903. And let's head to the phones. Hi, thanks so much for hanging on. What's your first name?
Hi, my first name is Tanika. How are you?
Good,
Hi,
Tanika. Where are you calling from?
From New York, Long Island, New York.
And how can we help you tonight?
I wanted to ask you, as of yesterday, it looks like I'm not employed anymore, and I'm very stressed out. I'm also supposed to go on a trip this Friday for my father's 70th birthday in Georgia this weekend, so I'm stressed out. I honestly don't feel like going to any party or traveling. I don't know. I just don't really feel that great right now and for the past few days. So I just wanted to know when you saw me working again and if I should take this trip or not.
Okay. If you can afford to do the trip, I would do the trip because it's your dad's 70th birthday. Even though you may not feel like it, I mean, it's going to mean a lot to him if you go. That's what the angels are saying. And the first card for you, honey, is New Beginnings, which is really what you need right now. They want you to embrace the new in your life, including new opportunities, people, and projects. The angels know that change can be frightening, and they are surrounding you now with loving energy. They want you to call upon them whenever you feel afraid of facing the newness to come. They will boost your confidence and your energy so that you can enjoy the new beginnings. Sometimes we cling to old things, old routines, old jobs that we've actually outgrown because they're familiar. So when you draw this card, the angels are asking you to be open to new approaches to life. Perhaps they will teach you a new way of looking at things, or maybe they will call on you to learn a new skill. This would be a good time to do that if you can. Whatever the newness is, the new beginning, allow yourself to be stretched by the fresh circumstances. We learn about ourselves through new experiences. And the next card is a new love also. So perhaps the next place that you end up working is going to come with a new love. A new chapter in your love life begins very soon. It's going to be with a new person that you haven't met yet. They want you to open your heart to a new infusion of love through a partner in your life. The angels are preparing you to be aware of the new people who enter your life, as a new mate is going to be very much unlike anybody that you've already known. So be open to the changes in the relationship, and don't cling tightly to ideas of how you think your relationship should be or how they should begin. This is a time of wondrous changes in your love life, and you are being asked to trust God and the guardian angels to work things out for your highest good. Okay? So those are two very positive cards. I have a feeling very strongly, Tamika, that you had outgrown that job and that you're ready for something new.
Yeah.
Are you ready for something? Yeah, you are. Aren't you?
I've been unhappy for a while there, a long, long time there.
I know. So this is really a blessing in disguise. Have you been thinking about leaving New York as well?
Yeah, I really want to. I've been trying, but
I know.
I have no way to.
I think you should go to this party, and you may even find a new job there. I mean, you may start over there. But I would go to the party. I
would.
Yeah, I really would.
I want to see him. It's just to talk to distant relatives for 4 days straight, because it's for 4 days that I would be down there. I just didn't really feel like socializing with distant relatives that much, that don't really know me.
But sometimes that's exactly what you need, to lift your spirits and have hope again. And maybe somebody at that party will have a lead on a new job, the very thing you want. Okay? Just keep an open mind and try to look at this not as a scary thing, but as an opportunity. And I do not see you unemployed for long at all. I don't think it's going to be long at all, like really quick. That's what I'm feeling. Okay? And I'm going to give you to Ken now for your message. And thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Okay. I have 2 parts to your message. The first is the song. It's a song by Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. So this is probably mid-late 60s. The song's called I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself. And I feel like that's sort of where you are right now. Just don't know what to do with myself. And the thing is that this is a time that you can figure that out. If you can let yourself figure it out, because being without a job can be very stressful and can make you not want to think about what it is you really want, but think about, I need to do something right away. And you're the one who has to figure out how to balance that out. The thing about looking for work, looking for a job, is that so often we put such pressure on ourselves that I need a job and it needs to check all these boxes on my little list, and it has to be perfect because I'm going to be there till the end of time. It doesn't have to be that way. This can be something that pays the bills and helps you make it to the next step. So don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. And if something comes along and the price is right and it seems like you can do this and you're not gonna be miserable, then do it. And there's no reason that you can't still think about what it is you ultimately want to do, or what it is you really want to do at least next. But in the meantime, you'll have something that'll pay the bills. Now, as far as this thing for the 70th birthday goes, I feel like I'm supposed to tell you a sad story. So my apologies for telling you a sad story. Are you ready?
Why is it sad?
Okay. 2 years ago, I lived in San Diego, and my parents lived on the coast of South Carolina. And I flew across the country to go to a wedding with them, a family wedding. And part of the reason that I did this was because after the wedding, my dad needed to go and have a routine surgery, and he wanted me to stay with my mom. And I went and I did this, and the routine surgery turned out to be to show that he needed something a lot more intensive. So he had an intensive surgery, and he was 87, and he came through the surgery, and he was okay. And 2 years ago today, I was there in the hospital. He was recovering, and I hugged him, and I went to the airport and flew home. And that was the last time I got to hug my dad.
Right.
He hung in there for a few more months, and there were family get-togethers that I couldn't make because I lived so far away. And then he was gone. And I regret not being able to go to those other things to get that one more hug, because you just never know. And I think if you have the opportunity to go spend some time with your dad, I think that you will be very glad that you did.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't sound too preachy, and I also don't want to make it sound like I know something you don't know about your father's health, because that's not what it's about. I'm not saying that at all.
Okay,
but
thank God. My heart is beating really fast right now.
Okay. Well, but it will give you some nice warm memories, and you can talk about the next time you're going to get together. I know once parents get to a certain age, getting to see their family is a very important thing, and they like to be able to do that. Nothing made my dad happier. Everybody except me came for Thanksgiving that year, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get away. I couldn't afford to do that. I certainly couldn't bring my family. It's very expensive to fly a family of 4 across the country and put them up in a hotel and all that kind of stuff. I just couldn't swing it. I couldn't do it. And now I wish that there had been some way that I could have. But I mean, I have no real regrets. I know we told each other we loved each other a lot, and we Skyped and messaged and talked on the phone, but it's not the same as being there. And if you have the opportunity to be there, I think you ought to take it. Okay. And I'll climb off this soapbox now.
It's okay. I understand. I am going to go. I am.
Okay.
Good, honey.
I hope you have a great time. And, I know hanging out with family for 4 days can be trying, but for those that you trust with the information, let them know that you are looking for your next opportunity, that you would like to have a good job in whatever area, because you never know who somebody else knows.
That's right.
And they might have a connection. You may find out that you go to this birthday party for your dad, and it turns out to be not just a great thing to do for him and for you, but it winds up giving you a job opportunity somewhere maybe out of New York where you want to be in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly won't happen if you don't go. So I hope that helps.
Yep, it does.
Thank you. Calling, honey.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling us tonight.
Have a good trip. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. 347-838-9903 is the number here at Psychic Tapestry. Hi, thanks so much for hanging on. What's your first name?
Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi,
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Georgia. Thank you.
You're welcome. How can we help you tonight?
I'm just in a place of somewhat like the previous call, just needing financial increase, and have been applying for different jobs, but just ready for a change and needing an increase. I'm just wondering, what does Spirit say with that?
Okay. The first card that I have for you, honey, is manifestation. This card indicates a need for you to acknowledge the power of your mind and your ability to manifest exactly what you want. You are being urged to familiarize yourself with the law of attraction. Have you heard of the law of attraction?
Yes, definitely.
Good.
Yes.
And they're saying, clarify your wants and needs, for you have entered a powerful cycle of divine manifestation. And as long as your dreams serve the greater good, don't hurt anyone else, as well as the intentions of your soul, your purpose, the universe is going to assist you in making them come true. So if it's a job that you want, think in terms of imagining exactly how you feel with this job and how much money you're going to make and what you're going to do with the money, and, just feel it. So when you attach your desire to an emotion and you feel it, and then you have to let it go. That's the hard part. You have to say, I trust. I know. Yeah. You have to say, I trust that it's coming. And your affirmation is, I use my thoughts to make my dreams come true. And if you believe that 100% and you really work at it, it will be yours.
And use my thoughts to make my dreams come true. Okay.
That's it. Yes. Okay. And the second card is intuition. So they're telling me that you have a strong intuition of your own.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. That's true.
It is. This card encourages you to trust your own inner guidance, to embrace the intuitive wisdom that lives within your soul. When you draw this card, you're being urged to honor your sensitivity at all times and to prioritize your premonitions and hunches above practicality and logic. Okay? They want you really to trust your own gut feelings. And you are being encouraged to spend some quiet time alone. If you're out in nature and the outdoors, they're saying that's going to enhance that connection that you have naturally to God and align your soul with Mother Earth. And they're saying regular prayer, meditation, listening to beautiful music, mindful breathing, all of that's going to help you to continue to develop your abilities and also to attract and bring the perfect job to you.
Wow.
They're also telling me, just, off card, just in my head I'm hearing, you need to network with all of your friends. Start talking about it because someone has a connection for you that you know.
Okay.
And you can probably find that person if you think about it for a minute. And now I'm going to give you to Ken so that you get your message from him. And thank you so much for calling. Thank you.
Hi, Sandra. Do you
Hi.
Do you talk or communicate with your guides and angels?
I do. I do a lot. Yes.
Okay. Good. The song that was playing was Bridge Over Troubled Water. Simon and Garfunkel. Okay.
Yeah.
So keep communicating with them and talking to them and let them know the things that are on your heart, the things that you need help with. I often say that angels are not Santa Claus, and it's not that you need a new Porsche that's going to be in the driveway tomorrow, but they could. They certainly could. You guys back off. I know you could.
It's probably my dad.
But let them know specific, because they're not going to jump in and do something without you asking. So let them know specifically these things that are on your heart, these things that you would like help with. And this is the tricky part. Believe that they are going to help you. That's the tricky part. It sounds so silly, but that's the tricky part. It's not just a matter of Archangel Michael, I need a job, I need my car fixed, I need whatever. It's not just making a laundry list of the stuff that you need. It's, that you need help with this, because that and that opens it up really wide. So if you need a better job, then they can help make those connections so that you find that better job. Whether it's like Toni was saying, whether it's through networking or coming across the ad or word of mouth or whatever it is, it's not just a matter of that, Archangel Michael, I need a better job, and whammo, there it is. You have a voicemail that you start tomorrow. I mean, I know it could be, but you know, believe that they are going to help you with what you ask for, and that's when stuff really starts to happen. But they need you to let them know, and they'll be your bridge over troubled water. Great. I get it. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling us. I hope that helps.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Blessings to you both.
Bye-bye. You too,
honey. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. 347-8389. I shouldn't give out the number. We're probably only going to be able to squeeze in one or two more. Let's see what we can do here. Hi, thanks for hanging on. What's your first name?
I'm Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne. Where are you calling from?
Long Island.
And how can we help you tonight?
A couple of things. I'm job hunting too, and also for love life, both.
Okay. Are you currently in a relationship, honey?
No, I wish I was.
Okay. That's excellent. Because I'm getting new love is coming. They want you to love yourself first. And when you know, that's always the hardest part. But the more that you love yourself, that you love who you are, the greater your capacity to feel loved by others. So work on that first, but new love is coming in. They want you to keep an open mind because the soulmate who's on his way to you now is going to differ from your usual type and expectations, which is going to be a good thing. Because
like how?
A new type is what you need.
Well,
they
like
just say
how?
It's going to be different. Especially true if you tend to date a certain type of person, just a different type. You drew this card to help you discover your soulmate. Okay? You may already have been introduced to this person, but have overlooked him because you haven't felt there would be romantic potential. Is there anybody that you've met recently or over the past year that might like you and you can kind of feel it and you haven't considered him?
No.
Oh, okay. Then he isn't there yet. He's coming. But this is going to be the type of man that you could talk to, really talk to open your heart to, and have those deep down all-night conversations.
You know when?
Do I know when?
I
usually get within 6 months, predictions within 6 months. So I would say within 6 months. I think the job is coming first, though, quite honestly.
Do you know when that would be?
Yeah, you need that yesterday, I know. This is about releasing and surrendering. They're saying just let it go and allow God and the angels to help you. Everything that you everything that you release will either be replaced by something better or will be returned to you healed. So how long has it been since you've had a job, honey?
Oh, I've always had a job. I just need a job that's more money. I never have not worked.
Okay. So you're still working now. You just need that better job.
Yes.
Exactly. And do you need to get more education or take a course or something?
No.
That wouldn't help? No? Okay. All right. Well, release and surrender it to God and just believe, believing it's going to come. And
also, I wouldn't mind meeting a nice man so I could retire. I'm like, I've been working since the 20s. It's like, my son, I'm a single mom. My son's not that old, but I'll be 61 next week.
Oh, you don't sound it at all. You sound so young, honey.
No, I wish.
Yeah, no, you do. Well, new man's coming within 6 months, and I think the new job is at least within 6 months.
I put a lot of applications out yesterday. I'm done. I'm not putting any more out. I hope somebody calls soon.
I'm getting a 3. That's either 3 days or 3 months.
Oh, God, not 3 months.
Maybe 3 days. Maybe 3 weeks. But I'm seeing the number 3 in regard to the job.
Okay, I'm going to
now I'm going to give you
days.
to Ken. Okay, I'm going to give you to Ken now because time's running out. Thank you for calling.
Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, like Toni said, time is running out. I'm going to pop you on hold here so we don't lose your call so you can still hear it. But I got to run through this really quickly before Blog Talk Radio cuts us off because they're going to cut us off whether we're ready or not. The song that was playing was a Bo Diddley song called To Each His Own. And this is one of the classic themes that we talk about on this show, that things are different for everybody. And you were calling about love and you were calling about a new job. And both of those are coming for you, but I think they're coming in different ways than you'd expect, different ways than you're used to. That could, for love, I think that's going to be somebody that maybe you wouldn't have thought about a romantic relationship with, whether it's because of the work they do or just the way that you happen to cross paths with them is different than what you're used to. So as far as that goes, just be open to that kind of thing when you meet somebody. Just be open to the possibility. And the job thing, it's the same thing. I know you said you had sent out lots of applications, but I think that the right job is coming for you in a different way. It's not going to be the same kind of thing where you look for jobs that you think that you want or that will be good enough but that pay more. I think it's going to be that you're going to overhear something or somebody, like we were talking to that last caller, you never know who people know. So it's going to be somebody that you trust who knows that there's this great opportunity, and it's just going to come across in a way that's different than what you're used to. So just be open to the possibilities that a job is coming from in a different way, or that love is also coming in a different way than what you're used to. But just be open to that, and I think you're going to be very happy with both of those things. Just make sure that you're open to it. And I got to leave it there because the clock is ticking down. So thank you for calling, and I hope that helps. Apologies to those who are still hanging on the line that we couldn't get to you. We just run out of time. I'm sorry that I talked too much and we didn't get to you. But Toni and I will be back 2 weeks from tonight. And if you can't wait, go to psychictapestry.com, click on our readers and teachers, and you can book a private reading with Toni or with me or with a couple of the other folks who show up on Psychic Tapestry from time to time. Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll try really hard. I'll try to talk less, and we'll try to get to your calls too. Really, there were just too many tonight. We couldn't have gotten to them all if we stayed on another hour. But thank you so much for calling in. Thanks to everybody we talked to. Thanks for those that we couldn't quite get to. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate your being here. And Toni, thank you for giving up part of your Tuesday night.
Thank you. It was wonderful. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Can't wait.
And we will be back in 2 weeks. Thanks again. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, and tell those people that you love them. Stay safe.
Absolutely.
We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Your word is formaldehyde.
Can you use it in a sentence?
As you're sitting in your basement, you hit your vape, but then your mom walks in, freaks out, and starts listing the toxic chemicals you could be inhaling into your body, like formaldehyde, which she singles out because it's the same chemical used to preserve your Uncle Rico's funky-smelling taxidermied fox, formaldehyde. Vaping can expose you to toxic chemicals like formaldehyde. No need to spell it out any more than that. Brought to you by The Real Cost and FDA.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high-fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.